What we see here is the simulation screen. It's easy to reach from the homepage. You just follow the graph and you can't miss it. It's just the first item in the menu. The interactive simulation is quite easy. Typically, when you're here for the very first time, there is an interactive tour which starts here. You can recall that every time with a little compass, which you see on the top right. And there is an additional textual information, which you can also reach through the question mark top right. So these are always places that give you more information to what can I do here. And the tour will give you the information that this one is the interactive graph. Here are the controls for the simulation for starting it. And here's the meal selector. Well, it says so it's quite obvious. And then you have a couple of others. Let me open the event log here as well. Now, starting the simulation, I'll just run it. And I might be somewhat erratic. I'm not really planning a full meal here. As you can see, the graph now is starting to run, and we get regular glucose. I'm doing nothing, so it's quite stable. And let me eat something very non-carnivore, because carnivore curves or carnivore graphs are just boring. So I'll go with high sugar parts here, and you can see this continues. This is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, the time here. And I can add something more. You see the glucose up here, and you see the insulin here in the blue curve. Let me add pancakes, which add quite a steep curve. There's a little pop-up that tells you what's in there. I do use fast carbs and slow carbs, as well as protein and fat. And you see the pancakes trigger something different, like a different curve than, what was this, oatmeal with berries do. And if I add a beefsteak, you can see that almost nothing happens. It just goes up and to the baseline. And all of the meals you can see here, those are the indicators. This is when you ate the meal to begin with. And this interactive simulation covers 16 hours. And that's it. So at the end, you can just accelerate it. I'll just accelerate it and finish it. And those will be 16 interactive hours. And then I can look at the simulation result here. I can see what did I eat. And then I can save this as, this is a typical day, for example, which here it won't be, but you can go ahead and do that. There are the day plans that I've mentioned. And those day plans, a couple of standards are here, loading. I don't know why it takes so much. So there are a couple of standards that you can just copy. And on top here, we have the day plans that I have already created. And here, if I use the low-carb day plan, I can just go in and simulate that immediately in just one go. I'll simulate that. And of course, now when I demo it, it's slow. And we can see this is a quite nice glucose curve and works quite well, I would say. That is something that actually looks quite nice. Actually, let me see. This is still remembering my my old algorithm. I have tuned it a bit. So with the newer algorithm, glucose actually goes down during the night and then comes up during the morning and goes down in the evening. And here you see all of the meals. On the left side, you can see there is a cortisol event in the morning. Then we have butter with scrambled eggs at, what is that, 8 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we have entrecote and butter and cauliflower cheese at 3 o'clock. I have done some experiments with it, so this is definitely not a interval fasting plan. But all in all, what do we have here? 2,200 calories. And then we have a sleep onset in the end, which means the body does not generate too much glucose anymore.
And it's a strikingly different curve than the one with the oatmeal and the pancakes with maple syrup.
Actually, just for fun, let me go in and show you the standard diet. Standard diet, this one. Simulate that one, and you will immediately see something is different in this one.
Oh, wow.
So this is an absolute roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And what you can see here is as well, there are two graphs actually. There is a very thin graph and a rather heavy graph. And with the parameters, you can see I'm comparing my healthy profile, which is the foreground, with a pre-diabetic one. I would say typically you want to do it the other way around. So when you simulate a pre-diabetic profile, how would that work? How would that compare with a healthy profile? And then you can see the difference that way. But it goes in either direction. It works in either direction.
Okay, I'm glad you did that. So the parameters part, that's where you can put in perhaps being pre-diabetic. I see it says healthy, pre-diabetic, and type 2 diabetic. So you can simulate based on those 3 presets.
Yes. Well, on the presets, or you can create your own one, which I have done. Let's say I have a healthy one. You can set your fasting glucose, your fasting insulin, and your insulin sensitivity.
So that would be just you're going to go have some blood work done after you have your numbers, your results back from the blood work. You can input it into the system.
Yes. And then this is where you can also check, I do inject insulin, and then you can artificially inject insulin as well.
And put the times on there.
Yeah, it's like, when do you typically do the basal injection? How much do you inject basally? How well do your beta cells function? So is it really a full T1D? Is it 0%, or is it just impaired? Is it just, do they still work but not that well? Or are you T2D? So your beta cells function by 100%, but you still inject insulin. Nobody knows why you do that, but it's because the doctor tells you so, and nobody knows why the doctor is telling you.
So, Olaf, this looks like it took a lot of work, and you have it. It's very interactive. This should be thousands of dollars.
Yes, it should.
How much? How much do you charge for people to go? In fact, you didn't say your website name. So, how much do you charge people on your website to have access to this incredible tool?
Surprise, surprise, this is all a personal project. This is not my business. So naturally, on top of everybody here, every listener here getting a 50% discount, the whole site is absolutely free, but you get it for half.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that gift to my listeners. So, how do people find this tool? And then are you available to help someone if they're just trying to figure out how to learn it? And if so, how can they find you?
Okay, so the name, I'll switch half to German for that. To anybody who is used to listen to German, they will recognize this. So think of the German idiom Butter bei die Fische, which has a direct translation of butter with a fish, which means let's get down to brass tacks, is one of the translations that I found to it. So talk clear text, direct language, we'll talk now, and we mean it. And the site is, again, German pronunciation, butterbei.de, which is butter, as in the English spelling, BEI.de.